We got a great show today, folks, all brought to you by Chevy. Quite a bit of a Memorial Day talk, United States of America talk, armed services talk, sacrifices, and, some perspective pie from the show here. And then, we get a lot into what's going on in our own lives, our own golf games, talk about Scotty Scheffler. We take voicemails. Ben Griffin, who was on the show just a few months ago, breaking through, getting his first solo win shortly after getting a team win. He said a little bit about the haters. We had Will Zalatoris. We just got a nice show today, Trent.
It is a nice show. It's an American show. And another thing that's American, Chevrolet. A great, great, great American company.
Athletic, bold, commanding. The Equinox EV helps you show up in style. And if it's distance you're after, which we talk a little bit of distance on this show, we talk about Trent Ryan hitting some big drives, breaking 85s, coming back out. If it's distance you're after, Equinox EV offers 319 miles of EPA estimated electric range with front wheel drive. They are the presenting sponsor of the Foreplay podcast, been with us for years and been with all of you in the United States of America for over a century. So Chevy, it's iconic, the bow tie. And then what else is iconic is the Equinox EV. They've got a massive 17-inch diagonal center screen, the largest of any EV in its class. We've been in a bunch of Chevys at this point, rental cars all over the place. It really is. Their infotainment center system screen is amazing. It's amazing. When it comes to EVs, Equinox EV is the smartest choice that you can make. Let's jump into the show.
People say you look like Justin Thomas all the time. I don't see that one. The Ben Griffin one, twins.
All right. Pump the brakes there, right?
All right. I'm just saying.
You know?
It's true. I'm just saying.
Don't make me turn on Monday Night Raw. Don't make me turn on Monday Night Raw. I'll find a bunch of trends. I'll find a whole stadium.
Foreplay presented by Barstool Sports. We got myself, Frankie, and Trent. Happy Memorial Day out there. I know it's Memorial Day weekend. It's Tuesday when you guys are listening to this. We're recording on Monday. Everybody's kind of coming off the long weekend, a lot of family time. It's sort of the first long weekend leading into summer. But obviously Memorial Day is, it's a big holiday for us to really reflect, to really think about how lucky we are here in the United States of America. It's obviously a day where we honor, all of our lost armed forces members here in the great country, United States of America. You kind of forget day to day. Like, we do a golf podcast. Golf is a very leisurely, fun activity. All that is made possible by the insane sacrifices that thousands and thousands and thousands of our fellow countrymen and women have made over the years. And I recently was just watching, I'm sure you guys have probably watched it, the Bin Laden documentary. Yep. And then when Memorial Day coming up, and it really just, in terms of perspective pie, the careers, the lives, the commitment, the sacrifice that so many people make so that we can do this kind of stuff really is truly amazing. So once again, we're here to kind of honor all the unbelievably courageous folks that have allowed us to get here, and to say happy Memorial Day to everybody out there.
Is that a new documentary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
on Netflix.
Yeah, I think so. I think it just came out. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that one out. I haven't seen it.
It really dives deep into like the search and just how grueling and hard it is to find someone like him, when you would think, like, with all the technology we have in the world, that you could just find anybody. Tracking people in his corner, in his day-to-day life for years. Like, you can't fuck up, right? Because, like, there's so many things that could go wrong. There's so many innocent people that could get caught up in it. So, like, you can't just bomb anything and then they end up doing that, and then that's a mistake. Like, it's a grueling 10 years of trying to find this guy after he brutally set up 9/11 and multiple other attacks, and just wanted to take over the world and kill every American that he possibly could. And then you have people that go out there and just battle for us and our freedom and all the things that we get to do for a living. Even people that are just in the Pentagon and working in the White House, just nonstop, that they devote their life to making sure that justice is brought to the people that have wronged us and that want to do bad to the world. And there are people that are just wired differently than us, fellas. Like, that's just as simple as it is. They were born to do things differently than us, and we have to just be thankful for that, and we have to be just in awe of what they're able to do. Like, every day, it shouldn't just be a Memorial Day. It should be every day that we look out and we see how peaceful it is out here and how lucky we are. Because you watch these documentaries, you watch all these other places in the world, it's absolute chaos. Like, that is where you could have just been born. Not to get like sentimental, but it's like, I just brought a child into the world. I brought him into like Long Island, New York, to a loving family with, we have trees and golf courses. It's like easily that baby could just be born into just a war zone. And like the reason why we have that is because of all the people that fight for us, because we have selfless. These people just don't care about anything other than making sure that this country stays the way it is. That is like hard to even wrap your head around. So thank you to all those people. If you're listening to this, if you've served, if you are serving currently, I am in awe of you, and I thank you every single day.
I second that, and man, there's a couple parts in the diet. I think it's 3 episodes, and what is it? Zero Dark 30 was the movie that came out that sort of kind of went through the whole thing, but that came out a long time ago. This documentary really dives even deeper. It interviews a ton of the now it's been enough time. It feels like a lot of those folks are a little more freed up, a little less nervous about giving up information or revealing information, or whatever. So it interviews a ton of people directly involved with the entire thing from day one, from searching for bin Laden all the way up until he was killed in the operation. And man, there's a part where Robert O'Neill, who is the SEAL team member who shot bin Laden, is going through, and he's talking about before they left for the mission, they were supposed to be on leave. I believe they were on like vacation. They're supposed to be in Miami, and they got pulled off that. And they all, of course, were a little bit grumpy, but like, not exactly, you never know what you're going into. And then they find out pretty much what they're going into. And then they're leaving to go overseas to like a couple days before the actual mission. And he talks about how he has to then write handwritten letters to all of his family members, like to each one of his kids, because they're planning on basically not coming back. And he talks about on the trip over, he's like, there's a lot of different missions that we do. This one, there were so many things that were risk factors that, like, the number one being that they're like flying unannounced without permission into the airspace of a foreign country that is like a nuclear power that has like, they were going to the city that was essentially, it is like where their West Point, the version of Pakistan's like West Point is. And they're like, there's no way we're going to fly an hour and a half into this place, be undetected, get through this whole operation. We don't even know who's in there, and then get back in and fly an hour and a half back without us somehow like being taken out. There's just no way. So going into that being like, we're still 100% going to do it. That's obviously what we're doing. This mission is so important. It just, as you're watching that, I was like on a plane watching it flying back from like hosting a golf outing for the day. And you're just like, all right, like, what these guys are doing is so
Crazy.
laughably different, wired differently. And yeah, just a massive thank you to everybody, like Frankie said, who has served, who is serving. It literally allows millions of us to just live the lives that we want to live. And without that, there's a lot of bad actors out there, bad things that could happen. And instead we get to live this pretty like blissful life. So yeah, Memorial Day just kind of makes you think about all that. And if you do get the chance on Netflix, check that documentary out. It's very good.
There's also Thunderbirds documentary on the Air Force pilots that put on all these shows, the air shows. And I guess they are the Thunderbirds. There's also the Blue Angels, which fly over here. They flew over here yesterday and I think today at Jones Beach. But that's an incredible documentary too to go watch. It's the Thunderbirds. There's like 6. It's literally Top Gun. It's the Top Gun flyers, right? Like they have their names. They've got it's the whole thing, and they are legitimately the most impressive pilots you would ever see in your entire life. And it's the most risky job that you can have aside from actually going into battle. Like, I think the stat was 10% of Thunderbirds like pass away, like doing this show and showing off all of these maneuvers, because they really take it so seriously, because it's like it influences generations of Americans. It's this sense of, oh my gosh, look how cool our country is, and look at all the amazing things that we can do. Look how powerful we are, and look how inspiring that we can be, how humans can go into these things and be able to handle all of this G-force and all these maneuvers that they're able to do, how high you can get as a human, right? And like with skill and precision. And I mean, they're flying, like they go into detail just like how they fly. At one point, there's this one maneuver that they fly all 4 planes, or I think it's 4 planes, and they're 18 inches apart. And the guys on the bottom and the top are just flying, looking at the guy in the middle. And if the guy in the middle wavers over by an inch, they all die. So the guy, like the 3rd plane, has to be perfect. And the guy that's in the middle is essentially aiming towards like the beach and like the spectators. Like his route would be to go into the ground, but what keeps him up is the guy below him being at the perfect angle so that the air keeps him up. So if anyone's off by like an inch or 2, it all is a disaster. And the reason they do that is so that you can get that view on the beach of like them flying right by you. You can actually see like inside their fucking cockpit. It's crazy, guys. Like it's an insane documentary. The footage is nuts. I don't know how they get some of the footage. But again, it just goes into that thing where it's like these guys these women are leaving their houses to go do like an air show. And it's the most risky. Like there's a chance that they just do not come home. And they're saying it's like it's for a reason bigger than them. It's to keep this thing going. It's to show to bring unity to people. They look down at the beach. They look down at all these places, all these people looking up in awe, and all their kids like hugging their parents and watching all these planes go by. Like that is something that you don't even think about either, right? We have Memorial Day. We have all these shows going on. There's people risking their lives to do that. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's a great documentary.
I'll add it to the list.
Yeah, me too. I got to watch that one. But yeah, it's incredible what people out there do. Dude, these watching that whole doc and like these SEAL team members and just like their ability to do anything that is asked and do it flawlessly and do it like they're talking about the documentary before they went into this compound. They were practicing for like 15 to 20 hours a day, doing like dozens of runs of going through this compound that they had just completely rebuilt, like a replica of what they thought the compound, all of the dimensions of the outside. They didn't know what the inside was going to look like. So they literally each day would like go through 6 or 10 different iterations of what the inside could look like, where there might be rooms where there wouldn't be. And these guys were just going over and over and over again for like a week or a couple weeks, like dozens of times a day, going through every single minute. And then you think about like the other guys that are on the other side of that don't even know this is coming. It's like, dude, these guys literally land in your front lawn. And it's just, and of course, like everybody knows, one of the helicopters went down. They were able to pretty seamlessly, just still like be like methodically like, nope, we're going room through room. None of the Americans ended up getting harmed at all. And they got through. They got bin Laden, took his body. It's just the whole thing. And then like Twitter, like people started tweeting about it because they're just in like a resort town almost. So people were like tweeting about what was going on. And just the whole thing and what these guys go through. And that's just one of their missions. I mean, I know that's the biggest one. It's the most famous one. It got bin Laden. But like they don't just do one mission every 10 years. Like they're doing missions every day, every week. They're going out doing this stuff. So yeah, it's pretty amazing what goes on out there and what other people are capable of other than us. It's very impressive.
If there could be a humorous part in that documentary, and especially a part of that raid, it was when the other helicopter landed outside and they're like, how do we get in now? Like, this is not how we thought. And then they're like, our other guys on the inside just opened the door. They were like, they were like trying to knock down doors. And like one guy just like opened the door and then they slowly just walked into like bin Laden's compound. That one like kind of made me chuckle. He's like, all right, now it's go time.
It was so good. They like tried to blow up
They
one
tried
door
to knock down that first door, and they're like, it's a fake door. Like, who would fucking have a fake door? He's obviously in here. And like that was when they were like, now it's go time, because who has a fake door?
Yeah, and then he's like, all right, I'm gonna go over. We're gonna blow the other door. Make sure you guys on the inside are. And they're like, no, we're just gonna open it. And they're like, oh, yeah, great call. That's phenomenal.
And now he's feel like the number one terrorist in the world.
All right. Moving on, we got a couple administrative things. We got Breaking 85 is back this week, I believe Wednesday, out at Colonial Springs. Is that where you guys were?
That's right.
We were. Yeah, back to our, Frankie and I's home course out there on Long Island. We filmed, I don't even know how many Breaking 90s and Breaking 85s out there at this point. So, if you've been following along with the journey or very familiar with that golf course, it is where I infamously topped it on the 18th tee trying to break 90. I ended up shooting like 92 or 93. Colonial Springs, Breaking 85. We haven't put one of these out in a while. We've just sort of, we've been traveling a lot. We've all been pretty busy. And it's that time of year, though, where we start firing up. I know we got some hater matches coming. We got an episode of Breaking 85. So we're kind of getting back into the swing of our, what I would call regular programming. We've been doing a lot. Travel series. The Chicklets video is out, which is crushing. So thanks to everybody who has watched that. But now we're doing, we're getting back to some Breaking 85s and some hater matches and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a great episode. I love Colonial Springs. It's me and Frankie, tested. We've been doing that for a long time. So yeah, again, hard to promote as usual, but it's a great episode. Colonial Springs.
Impossible to promote.
You know what I mean? It's hard.
I want to read you the index at this place. People don't realize
I like this.
Colonial Springs from the Blues is a 72.7 rating, 141 slope. Like 6,500 yards. Like a tee box that you would just go up there and just play, right? Like the regular 6,500. And you go back and play the golds at this place, it's a 74.5 rating, 144 slope. Like that's like Bethpage Black. So the fact that we're playing this place all the time. It's so tight. And there's OB left on all of Pines. There's OB right on all of Valley in the front. So it's like there's really nowhere to miss the golf ball. And Trent goes out there and does breaking 85. Like, this is no walk in the park. This golf course is difficult.
For context, I just looked up. It says slope ratings can range anywhere between 55 and 155, with the average slope rating in the United States being approximately 120. That is like the average is 120.
This is 141.
This is 141. It only goes up to 155 in the world.
Right, 141 with outrageous like quick greens, especially for this time of year. What they've done over there, Colonial, is incredible. And I know it's like people get sick of us saying like how hard the golf is, that we like everyone just plays golf. I get it. This is specifically a hard golf course. Like, I'm telling you, the fact that this guy's out. So go watch this video. It's really hard to promote. Trent's playing outrageously good golf. Go back and watch his 100 and what was it? Would you shoot at Bethpage?
Oh, at Bethpage, 144.
He shot 144. He shot just around the slope of Colonial at Bethpage. And now to see him attempt to go for breaking 85. I'm telling you, man, this journey that Trent's been on, I know we play a lot of golf and I know we have all the help in the world and all the technology. It's still a damn hard game to improve. Sometimes you're just not born with it, you know? And Trent may have not been born with being able to shoot like low 80s and high 70s. I mean, it's true though. Like, but this guy's grinding at it. Go watch his game from where it was to where it is now. Just the sheer penetratingness of his ball flight with the driver. Now he's hitting. I mean, I'll give away a spoiler. He hit one at Colonial like 255. Like, I'm like 260. At that point, it's like, what are we talking about here? If you have that in you, you used to be able to hit your driver 180.
Right down the middle. Yeah, 180 right down the middle. No problem.
We look at each other being like, we can't get this ball to go further. He's huge. He's thick. He's strong. He's a linebacker. And the ball was going nowhere. There were points where I could throw the ball further than Trent's drive. We couldn't figure it out. Like, that's where I meant, where it's like, no matter, like, you have a great swing, you know, you're hitting like a consistent ball flight, but it's going nowhere. Now it's like he was hitting 6 irons like 185 yards and shit at Colonial.
Yeah, it was a fun round. Hard to promote, but it was a fun round.
Ball. Yeah. Just really, really good stuff. He still cuts his putts, does all the things that we all do. We all make mistakes.
Baby. It's a hard game.
And we show every goddamn shot. And it's like, we just go out there and we try and break a number. And sure, other people will try and do it also. But what Trent's been doing for 5 years is insane. It's insane.
It's a good video.
Shout out to Trent. Go watch that episode. I'm very proud of that series. I think it's a great story. You could go back and binge. Like, we binge shows. Hannah's binging 90210 right now. It's an old show, by the way.
Yeah,
old show.
Old.
She's like, oh, I'm watching 90210. I'm like, I thought it would be like shot like kind of new, like a Grey's Anatomy. It's an old ass show.
Like 80s.
80, yeah, maybe 80s, early 90s. I don't know. Good show though, like entertaining. I get why people liked it. Anyway,
I've never watched it. I never watched that show, but it's an iconic.
You could binge Trent's like golf life on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You could just watch his first attempt at breaking 100, and then you can just like watch him try and break 85. That is an insane journey.
I run into those people all the time. They tell me all the time. They're like, I've watched all of them, or they'll be like, I'm watching all of them right now. Yeah, they all exist on YouTube. They're all there. From breaking 100.
Someone should do.
What?
You know, if you want to get your foot in the door, you know, we're always looking for editors and producers. I think there's like a producer lookout right now, right? I mean, obviously, I don't know if we talked about that Alex Bush is no longer here with us. Have we ever said that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, it was a bummer. We wanted to do like Alex Bush send-off on his last show, and then it was while we were traveling. We didn't even really know it was his last week, and then he was gone. So what we would like to do is have Bush back for one show so we could do a nice little send-off with him. But yeah, for everybody who has kind of recognized that Brendan Jones has been doing a lot of the production on the show for the last couple of weeks, Alex Bush has taken a different job. He's no longer with us, so I'm not sure that we've actually said that on the show, but now we have.
The gravy train's gone. The gravy train has taken off. The train has left the station.
Gone.
I'm sure he'll come on here and talk about it. We still love the guy. There's no animosity there. It's just moving on to things that he feels more comfortable with, and like whatever career decisions, whatever it is. Anyway, if you're trying to get your foot in the door and you're trying to get into this world, I would love to make a call to action to anyone that's listening to this that has that fire in their belly and that wants to just do something with their life. They don't want to be at the restaurant anymore. They want to do. This is what I did. Like, I saw it and I'm like, I'm gonna make a website called tobefrank.com, and I'm gonna edit videos the way Dave likes them, and then I'm going to somehow get into a meeting with him, and Nate's going to tell me how to go into my interview, and there's going to be a lot of things that happen. But this can happen to you also. You listen to what I'm saying right now. You make this video that I'm about to call out, and maybe we see it, and we're like, holy shit, this guy's pretty fucking good. This guy's dedicated. This woman's dedicated. We want this person. Why don't you make a montage or like a movie? Make a movie on Trent Ryan's golf life. Like from the 144 to the 88 at Rain Dance National. Like, show that progress somehow. Use your creativity. All the videos are on YouTube. You can go and download every single one. Now, you got to make it creative. You got to make it good. You got to take interviews from maybe other videos that we've done, travel series where Trent talks about his game. I want you to really work on this. And it may go nowhere for you. But like if it knocks our socks off, that's something that's valuable to us. You know what I'm saying? Like I would love to see the Trent Ryan story. Like a story of dedication and improving. Brendan Jones, what do you think about that, head producer?
I think that would be great. I think that would take a lot of time. I don't know if people out there have it in them these days. I'll be honest, man. It's tough. I'm serious. It's tough.
You guys out. He's
challenging
you
the public.
It's
generalization of the public. I like it.
Yeah, finding good talent is tough these days. I don't think
there's a way to do it. I agree. It's hard. It's going to be real hard without access to us and like Trent and like trying to tell that story without him kind of giving you sound bites and stuff. Not going to be easy, but there's a way to do it to like show where he came from. And to, even if you use like a commentator or something, I don't know, use your freaking brain, get creative. That's my call to action. I would love to see it. If someone sends us the Trent Ryan story in like 2 months, I'm going to lose my mind.
I'm with you, man. I think some of the stories at Barstool are so cool, right? Like your story with Dave's cool. Dana's got a good story. People just like doing everything they can to get their foot in the door. Man, I don't really see it too much anymore. I don't know if it's like a generational thing or whatever, but finding good talent's hard. So yeah, we're definitely on the search. Podcast producer plus, I guess you could kind of say. Like we want you to be involved in all aspects of the business, whether that's the podcast side, the YouTube side. The podcast would obviously be part of the main priority, but we want you to have that fire and that drive in you to want to do more and do the creative stuff and help in every aspect. Come out, shoots with us, be part of the crew. So yeah, that's out there for sure. And we're looking. We're definitely looking.
We get so many emails and DMs. It's like, how do I do this? I would love to be a part of your brand. I'm a golfer. I do this. It's like, that's not what it's going to take. We want someone that knocks our socks off. That's the level of a person we're looking for. Someone that goes out of their way and does something that's like, I need that person. That's a value add. That's who we need. That's how you get your foot in the door. To give us something we don't have.
100%. And honestly, it's part of our crew too. Like Kyle Timms was volunteering to do like snuffing torches with Tommy Smokes, like for no reason other than like he loves Survivor.
He's a sicko though.
He's a sicko.
Yeah, but that's
he's an absolute sicko. For. That's why he's perfect.
We need sickos.
We like sickos.
Right. And same thing with Jared, dude. Jared applied to be Dave's guy like 6 times, dude. Like, and finally his shit came
Jared.
across my desk. Yeah, he's very creative, very talented.
I love Jared. I like him more than Kyle, I think.
Whoa,
Frankie!
Oh, dude.
Why would you say that?
I like getting Kyle going. I really like getting him going. Kyle Timms also sends me famous dads wearing golf dad hats.
Is that the dad from That 70s Show?
That was Red for sure. That was Red.
Al Bundy?
Oh, that is Al Bundy. Yeah. Tim the Toolman Taylor wearing a golf dad hat. I love this.
Dude, he's nonstop. Taylor. He is absolutely nonstop. He cracks me up, Kyle Timms.
He's the best. Somebody mentioned Dana. I want to say, I could be wrong about this, so I'm open to being wrong, but I think at one point somebody put the call out, maybe even Dave, to like do something with the rundown, to like cut a bunch of rundown clips, and Dana did that and sent it in. It's very similar to what Frankie's saying about if they want to do a golf story of my life. There's another one. That's the guy from I
don't know which one that is.
Shit, I can't think of it.
Is it
Family Matters?
Yeah.
The Family Matters dad.
It's so good.
Is it legal to put those out?
I think I'm gonna put them out. I
put
made
them
this
out.
one. I don't know. This one cracked me up.
Peter Griffin.
Peter
That's
Griffin.
No, we got a great crew and we're looking to add to it. So like both these guys are saying,
Simpson.
if you're a creative hard worker, you know, give this a run and you never know what can happen. Once you get in the door at Barstool, anything can happen. Truly.
Yeah. I think
that's a great point, dude. Sorry,
yeah.
Riggs, but he said it best. Like, I value and we value hard work just as much as we value creativity. In my in my opinion, like you gotta be willing to grind, and we could teach you what we need to teach you and our way and how our process kind of goes. But if you're somebody who is willing to work your bag off for this brand and for the four of us on here and really want to grow, like, that goes a long way, and that's tough to find.
Yeah, I would say we value the hard work more, you know, just because I think, like, God, the amount of, and Dave was saying this, I think it was when he was on with, Shannon Sharp, maybe he was saying this recently. He's like, we get hundreds of people a day that hit us up that are like, I'm funny, I'm this, I want to work at Barstool. You definitely might be, you could be a huge bird, but he's like, okay, show me what you got, what have you done? And a lot of times it's nothing. And it's like, dude, with social media now, with all the different apps, you can edit, you can teach yourself how to edit. Like showing what you've done. Like when I first had Dave respond to an email after sending hundreds, like I had already written over 1,000 blogs to literally nobody that I just was able to send him and be like, oh yeah, here's my catalog of stuff that I've done. I know Frankie just described his, Trent's described his, it's the same deal. It's like, so yeah, that's probably the biggest thing for folks that, and again, this isn't turning into like a whole hiring process thing, but that's the biggest thing we could say for anybody out there who wants to join the operation here, maybe. Is it's like, don't tell us like what you can do, just like literally show us, like take the time, take a couple weeks, whatever it is, build something up of like, here is me doing what I say I can do for you guys, and then we can see what it's actually like.
It is shitty because there is a chance doing it on your own and just doing it because you love it and because you have a passion for it, there is a chance that leads to nowhere. Like that, there is a very real possibility that happens. It was possible for all of us. Like I could have just been writing blogs, and then at some point I'm just like, I can't keep doing this because it's just not leading to anything. But it can also lead to a job at Barstool Sports, which a lot of people want. So it's shitty that that's the way that it is, where it's like the two roads that it can lead to are either the dream job that you've always wanted or just a feint. It just sort of goes off into the distance and never happens. Not exactly, you know, a roses and lollipop story there, but it is possible. But you have to be, bottom line, you have to be doing it for the love of the game. And that's what we all did. And it just ended up working out.
It's also not the worst skill to just acquire, to like learn how to like edit a video and become creative and make kind of a project on your own and use some spare time instead of playing video games or doing something that you know, whatever your hobby is, like taking out a couple weeks to learn something new, a new skill.
Yeah.
If that doesn't end up in a job, it could end up helping you out somewhere else down the line in the future. To me, I think that stuff's fun. Like I had no idea that I was going to be in the internet world. I was working at a pizzeria, but like making videos and learning how to Photoshop Tom Brady's face onto a Godfather scene was like fun to me. Like I actually I put my laptop on my lap and I just kind of like sat there and watched TV and learned. I watched a YouTube video and I learned frame by frame how to cut out Tom Brady's face and put it onto a Godfather scene. And it's like, and Dave loved it. And like that somehow worked, but I still had so much fun doing that. That's just how my brain works. I enjoyed doing it. And I realized that that's kind of where I wanted to go. But you know, who knows? Maybe you edit a video about Trent going from a 144 to an 88 and you're like, holy shit, I love storytelling. I love like editing. I love this whole piecing together of a story. And then all of a sudden, bang, something clicks. You never know, man.
Dude, it's funny. For me, it was like a lot of it was back in the day, like group and buddies, like email threads. And if it was like for a golf trip or something, I would do like a recap after, and I would spend days writing this recap and try to make it really funny and entertaining. And I would get great feedback from that. And I would spend hours on like an email, on one email that's just going to like 8 buddies. And like, and
that's my buddy,
and I just
Rob.
enjoyed that. And that's like where my, you know, just being like, well, maybe I could blog like those guys do, because when I write for my buddies, they seem to find it entertaining. So it's like that little right there of just doing it for the love of the game and getting a couple laughs and having like guys text me on the side being like, I was dying at your email. It's like, that was worth the 10 hours or whatever the hell it was that I spent writing the email.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep. I used to do that for fantasy football. Like we would do recaps shit like that. Like that's where it starts. And I know Frankie does a lot for his fantasy football league. Like those skills that you're talking about, I'm sure you use them like for whatever in the group chats and the emails like you're talking about. So this has been a long segment, but we're looking for fucking hardworking, creative people. If you want to join the team, give it a shot, and you never know.
We got some good recommendations too for some folks. So I think we might have some killer candidates coming up. So so stay tuned, folks. We kind of see where that ends up. But like we said, we're always looking for talent. Always hardworking talent is going to get hired at Barstool somewhere. And yeah, that's kind of our best information that we could give. Steel City Scramble. So we kind of talked about this a little bit on the last show, but if you're in the Pittsburgh area, there's a couple spots left, not many. It is, you go to barstoolsports.com/events and you will see it on there, but it's Monday, June 9th. It's the Monday of U.S. Open week at Longview, which is supposed to be awesome, which is 15 minutes away from Oakmont. It's a scramble, 2-person scramble. Great time. We're going to be out there having drinks, hanging, food, laughing, golf, U.S. Open. Everybody's going to be in the mood. So make sure you check that out if you have not yet, and sign up because you can be one of the last teams to get in.
I actually got a message from the enemy, a current New York Ranger who I didn't even know watched our stuff. He just messaged me and said, Longview's incredible. And I was like, okay, I can't wait to see it. But that's he went out of his way, across enemy territory, crossed the line and said, this place is incredible. I looked at pictures of Longview, it's on that river, and the views are outrageous.
I got a couple DMs just from people being like, this is like a gem. This is a Pittsburgh gem that you guys are going to. So yeah, it's getting really good reviews.
What a way to start U.S. Open week. We'll be there. I'm going to make my first travel appearance there because I can't miss it. The U.S. Open's U.S. Open's big, man. This is it. It's it's open to everybody. I always get jacked up for the U.S. Open. Big ballpark. Something about the U.S. Open just gets me going, man. I really do. I really get going. The PGA is great. I love the PGA. We sell good merch with it. The logos are great. It's different, and it always delivers. U.S. Open's just fucking...
Oakmont gets me. Maybe it's because we were lucky enough to go out there and play it for the media day, but it's I'm so fired up to watch those guys play at Oakmont. That place is awesome.
Maybe it's the spacing now too. Maybe it's because the PGA is where it is, and you had the Masters, you had the PGA, and guys have their third chance now. They've there's something about that who didn't get it done in the first two. They know they only have two more. They're halfway through now. There's something about it being smack dab right in the middle of this whole season. Father's Day, it's just the weather's getting good. You're playing a lot of golf. The U.S. Open, man, is fucking. Let's go. Oakmont, big ballpark, Scotty Scheffler. God.
Dude, my U.S. Open thought, as soon as somebody says U.S. Open, I always think of the USGA and the USA flags waving, and they always show that camera shot. A big one was when we were at Shinnecock and the wind was pumping the whole time. Of course, they had lost the golf course. They still haven't found the course yet, but the red flags and the USA and the USGA flags all up there. And then Dan Hicks' voice with that little instrumental US Open tune that they do behind. It's Dan Hicks, those flags pumping. And it's like you're saying, it's kind of the middle of summer. You're only a couple weeks away from 4th of July. Everybody's playing some golf. It's golf season. It's the peak of the golf season. Yeah, it's just US Open, Oakmont. Oh, God, I can't wait for it this year. We've got heavy hitters winning all over the place. Obviously, Rory, Scotty. I think Xander's playing much better now. You have Rahm. You've got Bryson's all over the place. So go. It's the same storylines as the PGA, except it's even got a little bit more build up now. Scotty could win the damn career Grand Slam this year. He could just do it this year. It's nuts. So yeah. Hype is high.
The Scotty Scheffler career Grand Slam this year storyline is starting to get some real hype. That train has officially left the station. Imagine he wins at Oakmont, what it's going to be like going into the Open Championship. That'll be fucking incredible.
NHL playoffs are here, and the only place to buy hard-to-get playoff tickets is Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NHL playoff tickets. I'm a little bummed out. I was going to try to go to a Canes game at some point in the next, few weeks when I was going to maybe be in the North Carolina area, go to a nice Carolina Hurricanes game. But boy, they're just getting absolutely steamrolled for the 17th straight time. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, as a guy who exclusively gets beat, his team gets beat by the Carolina Hurricanes in the playoffs, right? We always get beat by weather, the Islanders, the Lightning and the Hurricanes. It's absolutely outrageous. Two things that affect islands, which is Long Island, the Islanders. The Hurricanes don't get enough shit they've lost 15 straight conference final games. They have been swept now. This will be the 4th time in a row that they get swept in the Eastern Conference Finals. That is outrageous. Like, talk about a team that just can't get it done. Not to pile on that fan base, but listen, like, you can't really be like big brother to like all the Metropolitan Division if you just keep getting dog walked every single Eastern Conference Finals. But if you want to go to a game, it's on Game Time. You go there, you hit the GT picks. It's all there right there on the app. It gives you the best selection. For me, I can look right here. The Guardians are playing the Yankees. You go right on the app. You hit GT picks. Bang. $67 right behind home plate. Second row right there for a New York Yankees game at Yankee Stadium. Amazing. Absolutely amazing app. We use it all the time. We go to concerts. I saw Dave was at what was Dave at?
He was at the Sphere at Kenny Chesney.
Kenny Chesney at the Sphere. He was touting Game Time for that as well. So really, there's no event that you can't get to with Game Time.
I'm looking too. And we don't know exactly how the Canes series turned out. We're recording this before the Monday night game, but most likely it feels like there's going to be a sweep in the other series on Thursday night for Game 5 of the Oilers at Stars. I went to GT Picks. You can get anything from $183 all the way up to $543, and you're basically on the ice. So Game Time's got all the best options when it comes to tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL playoff tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code FORE, F-O-R-E, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code FORE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game Time. Golf is hard, but getting your protein fix can be easy because One Bars made protein bars perfected with one Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers and with one Hershey's Cookies and Cream. We're talking 18 grams of protein. Frankie's got them right there. Only 3 grams of sugar, and they truly are just delicious.
Opening up my box right now. You open it up. Just this great packaging with that Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers on the front. You look at it and you say, oh, is this Reese's? But then you see all of the things on the front. 18 grams of protein, 3 grams of sugar. I've brought this to the golf course. I always have it with me on the golf course. Even when I played in the match against Matt Barzell at Sabonic last year, I was eating it, and you can see him looking at it being like, dude, what is this bar? And he's like, is it just like candy? And then he eats it, and he's like, this is, first of all, unbelievable. And he's like, is this healthy? Or like, dude, I'm telling you, it's only 3 grams of sugar, 18 grams of protein. It's a good bar. And he loved it. He had like 3 of them. So, I mean, we don't go on the golf course without them.
They're the phenomenal, perfect snack for the golf course. Throw a couple in your bag. If it's really hot out, little hack, throw them in the cooler. It's got ice on it on the side of your cart. And then whenever you're hungry, you just nibble on those bad boys. 18 grams of protein, only 3 grams of sugar. They got other great flavors: birthday cake, maple glazed donut, and blueberry cobbler. Buy the new one, Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers Protein Bar, on Amazon. Again, go check these things out on Amazon.
Guys, I maybe you guys mentioned this when I wasn't on the show. What's the reasoning behind the Jordan Spieth career Grand Slam not getting the same attention that Rory McIlroy did?
I think it's just expectations, man. Like, I know I had a comment, I believe, during that show. We had beef, myself and Trent, and I said, I think Rory's going to win the career Grand Slam again before Spieth wins the career Grand Slam. Like, I just don't, he just doesn't. I don't think people feel like he's got the pop to like get it done at a major right now. And I think Rory, every year it feels like he could win any tournament, and he was winning tournaments the whole time. Like, Rory was winning the Players, he was winning the FedEx Cup, even when he wasn't winning the Masters. And so I just feel like it's different. I think Spieth had that hype in like 2018, 2019 when he was still close enough to like all that success. But I just feel like he's fallen. I don't know. I feel like he's fallen off a lot since.
It's interesting. Like, there was the talk of the town. And if you go over the amount of years, it seems like it's approaching like the same kind of drought for Spieth, And it's not the same, but it's, I mean, how many years has it been? 7, 8?
The difference
2017, he won the Open.
Yeah. The difference is what Riggs is saying. Like, even throughout the 10 years where Rory didn't win a major, he was still really, really relevant in the golf world. He was winning other tournaments. He was winning tour championships. He was getting close. Like, there's been years where Jordan Spieth is just off in the wilderness and you don't know where he is. And then he'll come back within the last couple of years and win a couple tournaments. And you're like, okay. but he just doesn't have that. I don't know. Every year entering the Masters, when Rory was going for it, it was like, all right, he's rounding into shape. Is this the year that he finally gets it done? And with Jordan Spieth, it feels like, I don't want to use the word where it would be lucky, but it would be like, whoa, can you believe that actually happened? And I know we talked about it for sure, because I think Beef ended up picking Jordan Spieth to win that week.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that's our career Grand Slam right there if he gets it. And me and Riggs were kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. Holy shit. And I just think he hasn't been relevant enough, and he hasn't been winning on a consistent enough basis where you think, wow, this is the week that Jordan Spieth could actually do it.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just something about that achievement, though, like Tiger texting Rory, welcome to the club, kid. Like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter how you've been playing. It's like when you have that chance to get the Grand Slam, it should be the biggest story, just like it was for Rory. And I know that the expectation was that Rory should win, and that's the difference. Like no one's really thinking of Jordan Spieth winning, but still, like you got to throw out that little, give him a little on the first tee, give him that drop down for the career Grand Slam this week. We don't get anything for Jordan Spieth.
Let me ask you this: going into the U.S. Open, what do you think? What should the storyline be?
Phil Mickelson.
That's what I was going to say. So is that a real But is that a real expectation? Because now we've moved on to Scotty if he wins this, now he has a chance at the Open Championship. But is the real storyline actually could Phil win the career Grand Slam? I would say no. And the reason is that he's not playing to the point. I mean, he's on live, so it's all mixed up. But like, he's not winning. It's not, holy shit, this is Phil's chance. It's like, if he does it, wow. But it's not the storyline.
Let's say Phil finds himself in 5th place going into Sunday. Do you think it starts to rev up? You think the Grand Slam talk starts to rev up? Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Phil's in the top 10 going into the weekend, I think it starts getting segments. It starts getting tweets. It starts getting a lot of play. But I would say going in, like the live from set, I think they have 6 hours of live TV to get through to Phil from Monday through Wednesday night. I don't know that they'll even like mention that Phil could win the career Grand Slam. Just going in, it's like so far-fetched, which is actually kind of ridiculous. And I'm almost agreeing with you, because going into the PGA in 2021, was that when Phil won? Like,
yeah,
he was playing worse than Jordan Spieth's playing now, and like he won the PGA. So it's not far fetched for anyone. Like Ben Griffin just beat Scotty Scheffler, and like I said going into the tournament this past weekend, I was like, there's not a single person on this leaderboard or in this event that could possibly be considered someone who's going to beat Scotty Scheffler. There's just no way. And there were like 4 people that beat him, and Ben Griffin won the tournament. So it's like, of course, Jordan Spieth's good enough to any given week go into the PGA Championship and win the PGA Championship. Like, absolutely, he could do that.
Yeah, it's definitely Rory went in as one of the favorites. So it definitely is that hype of like, all right, we think this guy's going to win. Now, what's the storyline? It's the Grand Slam, as opposed to there's a handful of people each time that could win this thing. One of them being a long shot for the Grand Slam, Phil Mickelson. So yeah, no, I get it. It's just there's not many people that have 3, that are trying to achieve. How many people are trying to achieve the Grand Slam? Is it just Jordan Spieth and Phil Mickelson?
I think so.
Who are at 3 separate? Like how many golfers are 1 away? It's got to be those 2. Everyone else has doubled up on the PGA.
I think it's only those 2, because I think the latest I've seen is like the odds of the next person to complete it are higher or like better for the 2 guys that have 2, being Scotty, and not the 2 guys, but the 2 biggest, Scotty and Xander. Of like, people are like, it's more likely, or they feel like the odds are better that they're going to do it than like Jordan Spieth or Phil Mickelson are going to do it.
Wow.
What about, where's Brooks at? Brooks has
just U.S. Open
2 of them
and PGA.
He just won. PGA. He's won 3 PGAs and 2 U.S. Opens, I believe. Just insane.
He loves lifting heavy hardware, just big, big old cups.
Yeah, so like Brooks's odds to complete the career Grand Slam, I would imagine, are better than Spieth's, even though Spieth only has 1 and Brooks has 2 to go.
No, I wouldn't take that bet. I wouldn't take that.
I don't know
bet.
that
really?
Brooks that
isn't at the level of like I think what he's saying is Scotty's so goddamn good that him being 2 back to Jordan's 1 is like, I would take him to win that race before Jordan. I don't know that I'm taking Koepka to win the Masters and
the Open
before like Spieth finds his way into 1 PGA.
I wonder what the odds makers would say.
I agree.
I think you're right. I think you're right, but it'd be interesting.
Without looking at the odds, I would say Scotty's the favorite, and then Xander and like Jordan are maybe close, and then I would say like Brooks and like, Rahm, maybe. Rahm might be up there. Rahm's got 2 of them. You know, he's got the
Yeah,
US
like I
Open and
would
the
take
Masters.
Rahm and Brooks over Phil. I mean, Phil's 50 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And Colin has what, a PGA and an Open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
It's a good race. It's like a hell of a race because I think somebody's going to do it. I think Scotty is the favorite. Again, like if you're putting gun to my head, like is Scotty Scheffler going to win a U.S. Open? 1,000,000% yes. And then the Open's a little more dicey just because it's links golf. I don't think he has a great history there compared to all the other ones. And like it's links golf. Like who the hell knows? But like in general, it's like, okay, we all agree he's like going to win a U.S. Open. So then it's like, can he get over the hump and just win an Open where he's going to be the favorite for the next, I don't know, 10 years going into the Open Championship? He's probably going to be the favorite. So it's just like, yeah.
He's going to win a U.S. Open, which is hilarious to say. Over the next decade, Scotty Scheffler guaranteed will win a U.S. Open. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. The odds are probably minus 1,500. He's going to win a U.S. Open over the next decade. Like, of course he is.
My like early call, I think I'm going to put a hefty wager on Bryson DeChambeau to win the U.S. Open this year.
I like that. Wow. I kind of like that.
I had him. I bet him on in the PGA, and I really liked what I saw until I didn't. Like that's just like what Bryson kind of is, and I just think his game is really good right now. And I think like U.S. Opens just get him going, and it gets him focused. I think he's losing focus in these other ones. I think there's something about him. He's blaming the greens. He's looking at them. He's misreading putts. U.S. Open just is something. The ball needs to go straighter.
He's got trick up his sleeve too for the U.S. Open, which is can't underrate.
What he did at Winged Foot, well, like I just when he steps up to a USGA event, it just gets me going.
Listen, man, you don't have to convince me to bet Bryson DeChambeau in the U.S. Open. On the DraftKings Sportsbook, he won me 10 G's last year. Like that's
so good.
That Pinehurst win was. I was on the edge of my seat in a hotel in Chicago, losing my mind.
Trent's DraftKings.
So you bet against Rory on that one.
Yeah, because the reasoning was he was given interviews that week. Bryson was where there were conversations around him like that his irons might be illegal, and I loved that. I was like that. That's the type of guy that I like. Right on the edge, like dude, are these irons going to be good or not? Or is he going to be able to play these things? And I placed the bet immediately.
That was when they were like curved, right? The edges of the irons were curved, like a driver.
Yeah, right.
I like it. I mean, his odds are probably.
He's probably going to be one of the. He's probably going to be the favorite.
So I looked at it right here. He's almost 3 times the odds of Scotty Scheffler to win the U.S. Open. Scotty is plus 350, Rory is plus 600, Bryson plus 1,100.
Hello,
boom. I got him last year at I think 22-1 was what I got him at last year. So his odds are better this year. I like it. If we want to ride Bryson again, I'm in. A little bit, I will say, depends on how the Oklahoma City Thunder do. You know, they lost Game 3 to the Timberwolves in a big way the other night. But if they end up winning the title, I got a little cash in my pocket, so I might use that on Bryson.
I threw a quick 500 spot on the Knicks last night when they were down like 10.
Whoa!
I don't know what hit me. I had some money in the account, and I just put a nice little wager on them, and they freaking came back and won. I wish I would have done it when they were down 20. Hit. They were plus 1,100 at that point. But yeah, no, I got in there pretty nice, and it was an awesome win. I was jumping around Frankie in the basement.
Give Frankie boy a new pair of shoes.
Carl Anthony Towns just saw red. Did you guys watch that game last night?
I was in and out of it.
I didn't see it.
Down 20, he just took over. It was crazy. He does that thing where he's like, you see him do that, and he walks.
He's an interesting superstar. Yeah, he's like I don't even know how to describe him, but he's an interesting.
Big Zesty.
Do they?
Some people call him Big Zesty. Yeah, I see. I think Meek Phil does.
Yeah, no,
he's just got a little like. Did you see that no look pass he had the last night? He was at the top of the key. He went. And he really threw his head with it, and it was a sick no looker. But everyone was like, "Whoa, that was a little zesty."
He's a hell of a. I mean, yeah, when he gets going, he's something else. Like that series is.
He was like Optimus Prime out there last night, just dunking on people, hitting threes, falling down from half court, hitting bombs. They were down 20. He just took the game over. They had Brunson was on the bench, and they were playing just bench players and Cat. It was crazy
because Brunson had a bunch of fouls, right?
So did Cat at 5 going into the fourth quarter, I think.
Should be a good series now.
Basketball's
yeah.
getting me juiced because I'm a New York guy, but I'm not a big basketball fan. I am to the point where like I like to watch the sport. I played growing up, but I'm not like I'm bandwagon. Like when the Knicks are good, I watch, and I'm fine saying that. There's like diehard Knicks fans out there that like live and breathe every single second, like Meek, Phil, and like Hubs and all those guys, and Big Ev. I just can't get into it in the middle of the season. But what a great little run like basketball's on right now. You know, like just a lot of like fun teams and great games. A lot of come from behind wins. It's just like I'm watching it over hockey, which has never. And I know it's because it's the Knicks, but like I didn't even watch the Oilers series yet, and like that's already 3 games deep. I haven't even watched a game.
No, the NBA playoffs have been incredible. Like the Knicks beating the Celtics really was like, holy shit. And obviously Tatum got hurt, which was unfortunate, but like having the Knicks be good is always a good thing for the NBA. Now,
Definitely.
if they make it to the finals, I'm rooting for my Oklahoma City Thunder, but it would be great. Be a great finals. Be a great.
What'd you get that at? Like plus 600?
Plus 700. I looked last
Plus
night.
700 for the best team in the league. Pretty solid.
Yeah, they were going into the season. I think they were the second best odds. I think the Celtics were the favorites going into the season. And this Thunder team is so young and so deep and so talented. I was like, why not? This could be their year where they finally step up and grab the trophy. So we'll see.
But it's also one of those bets that was never going to get worse than plus 700 because they had such a good year. So it's such a good bet. Like you have the best odds you could possibly have on the Thunder.
Correct.
Like in other seasons, like if you bet the Yankees preseason and they go on a 20-game losing streak and then end up making it to the playoffs, like you could have gotten them at plus 1,400, whatever. You could never have gotten the Thunder with better odds than the day that you got them.
Dude, I looked
right
the
now.
other
They're probably plus 110.
No, I think they're like the favorite.
Minus 255.
Holy shit!
Yeah, dude, they're the heavy favorite.
Wow. I guess just because if they win this series, they're so much better than any team out of the East.
Well, the thing that happened for them was the Cavs got eliminated and the Celtics got eliminated, who were the heavy. That was the big favorites in the East, and then they beat Denver, who were they got Jokic. They won the title 2 years ago, and like once they got through Denver and the Cavs and the Celtics lost, now they've got if they don't win the title, it's going to be a big missed opportunity.
Wow.
So that's basketball talk on the golf podcast, which we don't get a lot of.
Isn't our guy?
No, we don't.
Kendrick, the good guy, isn't he like a huge Oklahoma City Thunder fan? Doesn't he go to like a million Oklahoma City Thunder games?
Maybe. I know he's a Dallas guy. He lives in Dallas, but I'm not sure.
Dude, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've got that wrong. He's like a fan of a random team. I don't know if it was the Pelicans. He like flies in. Maybe it's the Pelicans. He like flies in and goes to these games. I know it's not the Mavs, dude. There's something about him with like either the Thunder or the Pelicans. Did you just text him?
Just texted him.
All right. I need. One cares that's listening to this, but I need that.
No,
answer.
I care. I care because I know
talk
what
a lot
you're
of.
talking about. I just can't think about which team it is either.
NHL draft on this show. I don't know if you guys caught the NBA draft, but the Mavs getting the number 1 pick is one of the funniest things that's happened in sports history.
Did they? I didn't
had like
that.
had a 1.7% chance. Obviously, they traded Luka Doncic earlier this season, which was a disaster. The fan base is ready to riot.
Yeah.
And then just boom, Cooper Flag is the going to be the number 1 pick, no doubter. And now they're back. Like the NBA was like,
Frankie,
all right, we'll give you one.
I texted Kendrick, "Are you a huge Thunder fan?" His response, "The biggest."
Wow.
Dude,
nailed that.
I'm telling you, tell him I remembered that from we were sitting around in Hawaii just having mojitos. And he was just like, I am the biggest Thunder fan you've ever seen. He flies like little like private planes. He gets on people's planes just to get to games. Like he's sitting courtside every single chance he gets. He's the biggest Thunder fan ever. And I remember being so random to me. And I was like, oh, I looked at the standings when we were like, I don't even know when we went to Hawaii, but I was like, are they even like a good team? He's like, they're the best team. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you have no idea how good they are. I don't know what his connection to Oklahoma City is, but that's good talk.
Alex Caruso on the Thunder, big fan of this show.
Wow.
Yes.
Come on.
Him and I have DM'd a little bit, and he's a big fan of the golf stuff. So if you're looking for a rooting interest, I know Frankie, you're a Knicks fan, but if people listen to the podcast are looking for somebody to root for Alex Caruso.
That's what I'm rooting for you, Trent, for the plus 700. Hard not to root for that. I could have been more on the other side of all this stuff we're talking about. I took the Carolina Hurricanes the other night, money line, and we were kind of watching there. It was like 1-1 going into the third, and we kind of lost track for a second there. And I was like, oh, I wonder, let's switch back to that game. I wonder if maybe they're going to overtime. And they were down 6-1. It took, I think in 4.5 minutes, they gave up 5 goals or something like that.
Trent, you want to hear a crazy stat?
Ooh.
The Carolina Hurricanes have lost 15 straight conference finals games.
Oh,
they have been swept 3 times in a row, and they are now down 3-0 in their 4th Eastern Conference Finals.
That's horrific.
They have not won a single conference finals game in 4 chances.
What a strange place for a fan base to be, where you're just like, yes, we're in the conference finals, and like that's an incredible accomplishment on its own. And now you're in your 3rd one, and you haven't won a game, and you're like, what are we supposed to get excited about?
It's also like, if you make it to the conference finals, it's pretty much a coin flip at that point. It's the top 4 teams in the league. Like anybody could beat anybody, and they can't win a game. And so yeah, they're in a bad spot. They're in a shocking spot. All right, moving on. Shout out to Ben Griffin. I know he was on our show, little DraftKings action that we had. He's got a great story of, not really being one of these guys necessarily who was like career all-in golf or nothing. He's Lord Abbott, kind of finance guy who, was always trying to make it, whatever the whole deal, and then wins the Zurich just like a month ago when they win the Zurich Classic team event. And then he gets his first ever solo win on the PGA Tour just yesterday on Sunday. It was an incredible finish. Just another amazing display of how hard it is to win. There were so many parts of yesterday. We were watching the whole back 9. There's so many parts where it looked like it was over, where he's up 3, he's up 4, he's up 2, and the other guys are stumbling, and he's making par putts. You're thinking, oh, he's going to come down and just kind of close this thing out. And then you're just never comfortable trying to win a golf tournament. It's never easy. It's never something that's like you just get over the finish line without stress, without drama. And sure enough, comes down to 18. He hits a pretty good approach shot into 18, gets a horrible break with where his ball ends up like above the bunker. He's choking almost all the way down. Looked like he had like a floor hockey stick in his hands with how much he had to choke up on the club to hit this little chip shot. The German, Matty Schmid, is over there in the rough, just left between the rough and the water. And dude, Griffin hits this incredible chip to like 3 or 4 feet. And it's like, okay, that should be it. And then the German holes out the chip. Nance is trying to set the whole thing up. He's like, well, he's got to make this to have a chance. Hits this huge flop, goes right in the center of the cup, perfect speed. And then so you're just like, oh my God, now this guy's got to step up and hit this putt. This is about as grueling as it gets. And again, not to be like dumping on Roy, but it's like Rory's like the best player of this generation. And we've watched him miss that same putt 100 times, it feels like, in big moments. So now here's the biggest moment of this guy's life. Ben Griffin up there, and he stepped up like the coolest customer I've ever seen. And he just brushed this thing in. The thing's halfway to the hole on a 4-foot putt. And you could see him already taking his step, casually grabbing the ball out of the hole. Yeah, he was emotional afterwards. It was awesome. But, I know we kind of talk a lot about how it's a star-driven game and the ratings. And when you got Rory and you got Scotty, and that stuff's all incredibly important. But if you're really like digging deep as well, these types of stories of like life-changing wins and weeks out there on the PGA Tour with his family coming out there. Carolina guy, Chapel Hill, great story. It was very awesome to watch Ben Griffin.
Yeah, shout out to Ben Griffin, great looking guy, just a good dude. Everyone loves the way he looks and just the way he plays. So that's also just awesome to see someone that looks like that kind of win on the PGA Tour and just show that they can really achieve anything. No facial structure, really no strength. There's nothing strong about his genetics in his face or his body, but he's just a really good golfer. And to me, like that really resonates deeply with me.
Looks just like you.
I know.
Looks just like you, dude. And also
just a couple of pure, just like soft faces, just like nothing to them. Pure in the sense that like hair doesn't even want to grow on it, and bones don't even want to show out on him. And there's no chiselness. It's just like,
but he did make the winning putt in Aviators, which I thought was interesting. He was rocking the shades when he made that last putt, which you don't see a lot of.
Phil Mickelson ones? Are those the Phil ones that like make the golf course clear? Remember he was rocking those years ago?
Dude, PGA, he rocked those the whole time. And I remember there's something weird about, as a guy that wears sunglasses a lot, it makes me in our videos when we have big moments like want to remind myself to take the sunglasses off, just because like not seeing a guy's eyes under like pressure in big moments is kind of weird. Like I remember that from Phil when he was trying to close it out. There's like an extra degree of separation from like seeing the real thing. And I remember that with Phil, dude, coming down the PJ, he looked so like stoic and robotic because he had those aviator shades on. And I remember thinking the same thing yesterday watching it with Ben Griffin, where I was like, dude, he's got those aviators on and they're not like the Henrik Stenson, and even the kids would wear those like almost motorcycle style. They look like old school like Oakleys or something that they would wear. That's like, it's almost, they look athletic, so you kind of get away with it. Where those, I mean, it looks like he's at the beach bar rocking his little aviators. He's about to play a beach volleyball game with Tom Cruise, and then he's like hitting putts to win the tournament. It was insane.
Those aviators are outrageous for the golf course. But listen,
It was
guys that
George-
look like us, we make weird decisions when it comes to like facial. Like I said, we don't have much going on like facially. So like when you wear a big piece like that, it sticks out big time. You know, John Hamm walks around with aviators on. You're like, holy fuck, look at that guy.
Oh.
You know, he's smoking a cigarette. But me and Ben Griffin, we wear a big facial piece like that, and it's like a fucking billboard. You're like, that's all I see is aviator, because you got this soft panel behind them that there's nothing for them to rest on. They're kind of just out there floating.
How do they stay up? Yeah, the thing that was jarring to me about the Ben Griffin was the official PGA Tour victory picture was him in the aviators, and I just hadn't seen that before. You don't see it. It looked like a movie poster almost. It was really an interesting look. But man, shout out to that guy. Yeah, we had him on. Yeah, we had him on our live show at the DraftKings Sportsbook in Arizona. Really nice guy. Has a little bit of swagger to him. I saw he had some comments about the haters on the internet. He was saying that the haters kind of fueled his win. I don't know what kind of haters Ben Griffin has on the internet, but like
maybe some of mine went over to him. You know?
That's right. They were like, we're confused.
Piece of shit.
Is this Frankie Borelli who's winning? Fuck this guy. Yeah, no, that was one of his comments after was like, I don't want to say I silenced the haters, but I was fueled by some of the comments I saw. I don't know what they could have been in regards to. Maybe, I don't know, it was his first individual win. So maybe people were like, oh, you can't win it on your own, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, that's nothing in terms of internet.
You used to be a money manager. Now you're a golfer. Fuck. Like, what could you say to Ben Griffin? The guy's a great.
Even you saying that came off like a compliment. You're like, you used to be a money manager. Now you're on the PGA Tour winning. It's like, that's a win. Those are nice things to say.
Which is legit, right? You could put that on.
Now you're out there living out your dreams, you piece of shit.
So I don't know. I would be curious. I mean, maybe we'll have to have Ben Griffin on again now that he's won, but I would love to know what those haters on the internet were saying to him. But
we had him on Waste Management, and then we went out and played at the Texas Children's Open, and I saw him walk by, and he's like, and I walked by him and he goes, Ben, and I said, Frankie. It was funny.
Nice.
Yeah. He is all in on that joke.
Like, people say you look like Justin Thomas all the time. I don't see that one. The Ben Griffin one, twins.
All right, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes there, right? All right.
I'm just saying, it's true. I'm just saying
that one to me. Monday Night Raw. Don't make me turn on Monday Night Raw. I'll find a bunch of trends. I'll find a whole stadium.
Dave would do that too. Dave, anytime. I remember one time when they touched down in Iowa, he's like, there's just Trents everywhere. He was taking pictures of everybody.
Dude, that one Trent we found at the Ryder Cup in Wisconsin makes me laugh to this day. Mm-hmm. Remember we were walking like in the backside of the golf course and we physically bumped into a guy, and we were like, that's fucking Trent. Dude, I gotta find this picture, dude.
Genuinely, it happens so much when we're traveling that we see somebody who looks like me that I don't even remember. Like, I remember there was a guy on the range at Mesa Country Club who looked just like me before we were about to film Breaking 90.
Yes.
And Frankie, we were walking up to the range, and Frankie just casually goes,
that guy, Riggs. He's like a local there.
Yeah. No, he looks just like me. Who was that?
He looked exactly like you that day.
Frankie goes, oh, wow, you're already warming up.
Dude, we got a guy on the squad that looks like you.
Kyle Timms.
Yeah, right.
Back to my point about me having like no facial, like Trent has strong like genetic facial features. Like you've got like a face that probably could be replicated often. Like mine is very unique. It's so like there's not many people like that that like can't have any, like it's just flat. Like there's just it's just round flatness. There's nothing. We say that all the time about like Frankie. We're like, well, what genes are he gonna get? Like, what kind of facial features he have? I'm like, well, I got none of them. I've got no. The only things I have are dimples, and he has them. But like, there's nothing else. I don't have like the jaw. I don't have facial hair. I don't have like the cheekbones. I don't have like a strong brow. There's no, it's just, I'm player one when you make a video game. It's like, all right, face one, body one, skin tone one, 0 wrinkle, 0, there's nothing, everything's soft.
It's funny though, but your dad has distinct facial features. He's got the mustache. He's a very
eyebrows, the hair. Yes.
Yeah, and you mostly look like him, but there are big differences. He's got features.
I don't know. I'm
not saying this to be mean, and please don't turn on Monday Night Raw. But like,
no. Listen, I'm the first person to say it.
But congrats to Ben Griffin. Silence those haters, man.
I guess it wasn't. I mean, this was the guy. I guess he didn't look too much like him. I mean, that definitely was him. But shout out to this guy.
That looks like me, man. Anybody with glasses, a little bit of facial hair, shaved head, mostly a little on the heavier side. That's me, babe.
That was a great Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits, man.
That was. It's going to be, Ryder Cup this year is going to be topped. I think it's going to top that. It's going to top Whistling Straits. It's going to top all of them.
On the first team. Remember that?
Roe Sparks are 2-in-1 prescription treatment for stronger, harder erections. They hit the bloodstream faster because they dissolve under the tongue, and getting hard faster means having more sex after they dissolve. They work in 15 minutes on average. This is just true. This is just facts right here that I'm reading. And Roe Sparks, they're going to be ready. You're going to be ready for play with Roe Sparks. And guess what? Everybody wants to have better sex, right? Fact? Everybody?
Yeah, that's for sure. You want to have some play time. You want to make it hard. You want to make sure that that's real firm and strong. That's really the end goal, is just to keep things firm and strong and just have fun. It's like, that's life. Once things start to go a little soft, it's not. Yeah, it's all about firm, strong, fun.
Facts. Those are just facts. I think that's what it's all about. It's what life's all about, and that's what sex is all about. Roe Sparks can give guys thicker, longer erections than you usually have because they get fuller. Roe Sparks give you the boost to last longer, so it's more fun for you both. Roe stays active in your system for up to 36 hours. You can go back to back to back, round after round, be ready the morning after, whatever you're into. With Roe Sparks, you can get the erection you've always wanted. Roe connects guys with a medical provider 100% online, so you don't have to have any of the awkward conversations with in-person providers. If approved, treatment ships directly to your door. Connect with a provider at roe.co/foreplay. Very fitting time for us to have the name Foreplay for the podcast. That is ro.co/foreplay. To find out if prescription Roe Sparks are right for you. That is ro.co/foreplay, and you can get $15 off your first order. That is ro.co/foreplay. Celebrate Dad this Father's Day by raising his game at Golf Galaxy. It's our go-to place for the best gifts for Dad, with everything from equipment, apparel, golf shoes, and services to dial in his game. It's just fun to be at Golf Galaxy. That's a fact. You just roll in there. I love the putting green area. They have all kinds of different putters you could try out, balls. You just putt around on the green. It's better than being at work. It's better than if you're just avoiding people for the day, for an hour, for a half hour, whatever you're doing. Go up to Golf Galaxy, cruise around. They got the best, newest equipment, apparel. They've got 24-hour re-gripping option all the time. They've got simulate. They got all kinds of great stuff up at Golf Galaxy.
Yeah, it really is a fun day. It's something to go out and do. I think a lot of people may assume that we don't go to these stores anymore because we have, TaylorMade and we have these partnerships, but like, I'm always going to Golf Galaxy and checking it out. There's one right here in Bayshore. I always go. Like I said, I'm always getting grips redone, checking out the new TaylorMade equipment whenever, like if our guys are asking us, hey, there's a new driver, a new 7-wood, whatever, they have them at Golf Galaxy. You go check it out, hit in the simulator, see if you want it, see how you're hitting it. They even have fittings there. They can see what kind of shaft you can get into. There really is a lot that you can do there, and there's really nothing better than the putting green. Being able to just roll the rock, check out different putters. You're making putts. It gets you that itch. Maybe it's nasty out, it's windy out, it's rainy. You get that itch to go out and play. Go roll some putts at a Golf Galaxy. Go check out all the different apparel options. It's Father's Day is coming up. You got to get something for Dad. What easier thing to do than just go get him something at Golf Galaxy, even if it's a gift card. Just go send him to one of the greatest places that we have here on earth.
It's also, there's a reason Golf Galaxy, exclusive retailer of the Skills Barstool collection, because we trust them to get our games right, and we know they can do the same for you and your dad. If you're strapped for time, you can buy online, pick up in store. So make sure you go to your local Golf Galaxy to check out all the best golf products, or just shop online at golfgalaxy.com. Willie Z, in kind of sad news, Will Zalatoris, he withdrew, from the event this past week, and then just announced on his Instagram today that he has had another back surgery. He said he hopes to see everybody in the fall. He said, following the PGA Championship, an MRI showed that I had re-herniated 2 discs. After discussing the options with my medical team, I underwent surgery this past Friday with Dr. Michael Duffy at the Texas Back Institute. So again, in terms of timeline, he said he hopes to, see everybody this fall. He said he's, happy to report that he's feeling good, feeling confident to get back out there. But just a crazy, unlucky kind of string, couple of years here for Will Zalatoris. If folks recall, it was 2021 when he finished inside the top 10 8 times, including he finished second in his first ever Masters tournament. That's when sort of Decade Golf came out there being like, hey, you don't need all the experience because guess what? We got all the stats, which was working. He was PGA Tour Rookie of the Year that year. He followed that up 2022. He won his first event, finished runner-up at the PGA Championship and the U.S. Open. If folks recall how well he played that year, he was, coming down the stretch, Will Zalatoris, that year at Southern Hills. When Justin Thomas ended up winning it, but he was right there. He had back surgery in 2023, and now here we are, 2 years later, and unfortunately, he just had another one. So absolutely sucks. We love Will Zalatoris. Lurch almost got him. Lurch saved his life. He almost got himself killed at the old course at St. Andrews when he came darting across the fairway because he saw our crew and didn't even realize that his playing partner was about to hit an iron shot that would have taken his head off. Luckily, he survived that, and hopefully he comes back strong. But I love Willie Z, and it's a bummer. Very big bummer.
Yeah, it's just he's a huge talent, and he's an interesting guy. And yeah, you hate to see back stuff when you're still in your 20s like that, or at any time. But it just seems like it's, he got through the first one, and you're like, all right, he's back, and he's still Will Zalatoris. And then to have this happen again, I know that it's just got to be so frustrating for him. I can't even imagine how frustrating it is. Yeah, I wish him the best. Obviously, we do love Willie Z, and the tour's better with him on it. He's a good character out there. He looks like the caddy from Happy Gilmore, which everybody's talked about. But overall, just a huge, huge, huge bummer that Willie Z is going to be sidelined again.
Yeah, it is. It is good for my mentions. Every time Willie Z would have a short putt that he would kind of do his little zigzag stroke, it would just be an absolute dumpster fire for everybody kind of adding me into there. So that's been a couple years really since I've seen a lot of those. But Willie Z, man, I agree. He's great. Awesome to watch play. I see the little wiry fella just stripe the golf ball, one of the best ball strikers really in the world when he was uninjured. And, to see him kind of not able to even compete, he should have. God, I can't remember. I can't believe he didn't win that U.S. Open when he hit that putt against Matt Fitzpatrick. Can't believe he didn't win the PGA when he went to that playoff. He's playing great. So, yeah, he's had some phenomenal runs, and hopefully he gets back because we like Will Zalatoris. Great for the game.
I'm not a doctor, in case people haven't picked up on that, but it does make you wonder about that kind of frame. Like, you think of him, you think of Akshay Bhatia. Like, can that frame sort of hold how much speed is in the swing now? And again, it could have nothing to do with that. I got no clue, but you wonder because he is so skinny, and it's a real shame that he's got back problems because fuck, that sucks.
Yeah, and it's got to be so hard when you're at that level of a sport and you have to make a decision to like take time off and get a surgery and know that you're not going to compete for a long time as opposed to trying to fight through it. Like, how often are these guys trying to fight through pain to play, and then that wastes time, and then you have to like say, all right, well, we've already wasted 6 months of trying to play through this. Now we have to make the decision to get the surgery, and now we're going to be out for a year or whatever it might be. So it does suck for him, and I really feel for him. He's such a great personality on the tour, and like, he's the kind of guy that should be in TGL and on, he should be always like in our faces and showing off his personality because he's so likable out there. He's got so many friends on tour, and he's such a good guy. And it's a shame that he's not in the mix more than he is. And it's really just injury ridden. He was on a run where he should have been a mainstay, and then bang, it's like his back just kind of gave out. And once that goes, man, it's like a never ending. You just keep putting Band-Aids on it. It's scary. Back stuff is scary, man. You just can't get a handle on it. I mean, Tiger has dealt with it for fucking 20 years.
Fred Couples, Tiger, like there's anybody, you got back issues. It just affects everything about everything that you do. And the only Like, I'm trying to think, one of the only people I know who's really had like back issues is Lurch. Like, when Lurch would have back issues, dude, I would feel for him on some of these trips, some of these rounds of golf where he's like, I can't even walk. I can't move because you got whatever it is, something pinching a nerve. And so, yeah, Will, I just looked, he's only 28 years old, Willie Z. So you really hope that that's not some lingering issue. And I guess from his vantage point, because I'm with you, I'm thinking like, dude, it's May 26th. You can't wait another month and a half, try to play through the US Open, try to play through the British Open, and then like shut it down until January or something. But it's kind of hard. You got to remind yourself that back issue stuff is paralyzing pretty much. So if he's having any issues at all, I'm sure he's like, dude, I can't win. I can't go compete in these things with these issues. So might as well just do it. But I'm with you. I love Willie. I think he's entertaining. Fast. His interviews are all great. I know he does stuff with the Part of My Take guys, does stuff with us, and he's always been phenomenal. So I kind of miss him. Like, even just seeing the injury report or I was like, oh, I forgot that I like haven't really seen much of Willie Z over the last 2 years.
Yeah, back pain is insane. It takes over your whole body. Like, that sent me to the emergency room that day when my back was killing me. I didn't know if it was my organ. I think it's still just like lingering in there. Like, I think I might just have like a slip disc, which is manageable right now. But who knows in 20 years, 50, I might be like Lurch, just on my back, just trying to like stretch things out before I play around a golf. Like, you never know where it's going to go. Back pain is just not good.
Not good at all.
No,
because it's manageable until it's not. That's the problem with it. Like, you kind of just put it off and you do all these things and you stretch around and then you like go out there and you're like, all right, I feel loose, I can go golf. And then at night it kind of hurts in bed, and the next morning you wake up, and you do that long enough for years and years and years, and it's just gonna go. Like, you're just not doing. I'm not working out my back or doing anything to fucking help myself. There's no way. What am I doing to help myself?
Like, back pain is it's debilitating. Any sort of back pain, immediately you have to stop everything you're doing and pretty much just lay down until you think you can move again. And to have that over and over and over again, and then to have, like, I've never had a serious back injury, thankfully, but then to have a serious one, I actually can't imagine that type of pain. It's got to be the fucking worst thing.
I can't either. So yeah, hoping for a speedy recovery from Will Zalatoris. In other news, Angel Cabrera, a little blast from the past. He has now won in 6 days. Angel Cabrera won 2 major championships on the senior circuit. I think he's like 53 years old now, but he spent 30 months in prison in Argentina. I think 2 years ago he got out. He played for the first time, competitively in December, I think, of 2023, and then has worked his way back up and just won back-to-back senior major championships. He also returned to the Masters tournament this year for the first time since all of the prison stuff and whatnot. So kind of just a unbelievable story. It was Congressional, which is just an awesome golf course. They had a whole renovation there over the last handful of years. I believe they had the women were there maybe last year. It was when Nelly Korda, I think, won the major championship there. And then they had the men this year. But yeah, wild seeing Angel Cabrera out there of all people.
Yeah, it is wild. What a life he's lived. Probably a interesting documentary will come out of his life.
Didn't Roy tell an Angel Cabrera story at the Masters? Something about him leaving a note in his locker. Did you see that?
Yeah. He left a note. I believe he said he left a note for him when he was in his group when Rory collapsed and shot that like 80 or 81 at the Masters in the final round.
Right.
And I want to say, I think Rory said he left him a note, after that maybe, or maybe he left him a note this year going into the tournament. I can't remember which one, but then Rory was like, it was incredible to see kind of the irony of him. He was the guy that was in my final group when I collapsed. So maybe it was this year. He might have left like a good luck note to him or something.
It was. I'm looking at an article on what is it? Golf.com. It says, with McIlroy up 2 heading into Sunday's final round of the Masters and in search of his first green jacket, he opened his locker upon arriving at Augusta National and found a note from the 2009 Masters winner. 14 years ago, they'd been paired together when Roy McIlroy entered the final round. Up 2 at the Masters, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no, it was this year. So Angel's just in the mix all over the place. Can't believe he's been winning. That's just a name that he's going to show up to the Champions Dinner, when he can now. And then I didn't think I would hear about him again until next April. And sure enough, he's winning golf tournaments. So very strange.
Dude, he's got 3 PGA Tour wins total, and 2 of them are majors. He won the U.S. Open at Oakmont, and he won the Masters tournament, and he also lost in a playoff in the Masters tournament. He lost to Adam Scott when Adam Scott hit that putt that Stevie Williams read on the 10th hole on like the second playoff hole. So what a hilarious career that he's got 2 majors and then 1 other PGA Tour win. And then he's got a couple majors on the senior tour. He's 55 years old, I saw. So he's older than I thought, going out there on the old senior circuit and getting it done. So, yeah, that's a name I didn't expect to hear a lot from either.
You think he was rolling putts in jail, just like dialing in his short game?
Yeah, I don't know, like the rulings on if the putter would be considered a weapon. So I don't know exactly what all you're allowed to have in prison. It's a good question, but I think
he literally got out of prison and like started competing again, like right away. So like his game is like he had to have been hitting golf balls.
I don't know, man. And he was in prison in Argentina?
Argentina, I think, yeah.
I don't know what that's like. I got no clue.
Maybe he's like a legend over there though, and they're just like, here's a simulator room.
Maybe. I don't know. That's could be rolling putts in prison. You never know.
Feels like he was hitting some golf balls.
30 months he did in prison, I believe.
Dude, that's over 2 years. That's crazy. 2.5 years.
2.5 years, yeah.
He had to have hit a golf ball. The guy's winning majors.
Over under, yeah. I guess the question is over under 0.5 golf balls hit in the Argentinian prison for Angel Cabrera.
I think he hit 1,000 a day.
Over.
I think that's all he did.
Set up. Just hit his cell
into like a little like
simulator
mattress
bay
or something. Into a mattress or something. He went old school with it. What did he get arrested for? Was it violent?
It
was like domestic violence against 2 ex-partners, I believe, were the charges.
I thought it was like financial or something.
No.
So they probably didn't give him a golf
bad
club.
stuff. That's again, no, that's not good stuff. But he was cleared again by the PGA Tour to return to play and by the Masters tournament to return and play. So,
all right.
Other golf news, we got the U.S. Women's Open this week is at one of our favorite venues on earth, Erin Hills. We absolutely love Erin Hills. I've been raving about that place for 6-7 years now, ever since first stepping on property. We've been up there a few different times. We've hosted a Barstool Classic up there. We filmed some videos up there. Love Wisconsin golf in general. I think it's wildly underrated. They got a lot of cool places up there. Erin Hills got a little bit of a bad rap in 2017 was the U.S. Open there, just because there was absolutely no wind. People went a little bit lower than folks liked. And when you see a new U.S. Open venue for the first time, much like what happened at Chambers Bay, it pretty much needs to be flawless, perfect. Otherwise, people are going to nitpick and bitch about it. I remember just showing up there. Maybe it was 2019. So it was a couple of years after the U.S. Open and not really knowing what to expect. Expectations weren't like crazy high, just again, because the MO and a lot of the commentary after that U.S. Open were a little bit negative around Erin Hills. And it is maybe a top 5 spot to travel to for me in golf in the whole world. I love the golf course. The restaurant's unbelievable. The logo's unbelievable. The service is at such a high standard. And when you stay there on property, I think they only have like 39 bedrooms on property, but they've got different cottages. They've got like a big inn that's got a really cool Irish pub in the bottom of it. The clubhouse is absolutely spectacular. And the golf course is so beautiful and so fun to play. It's so much like unlike anywhere else that you really play, and that it's like this huge field that's pretty much wide open with fescue, and then the hills, it's very undulating because all the hills were carved by glaciers that rolled through, whatever, tens of thousands or millions of years ago. So it's a very interesting topography. They did an awesome job with all the architecture there. It's like that like Irish type feel and look to it. So it's not like gaudy. It's like looks like it's supposed to be there. It's just an awesome spot, and the women will be there competing for what is the biggest prize in women's golf, which is the U.S. Women's Open.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing golf course. Really, really tough test. Trent and I, when we had that Barstool Classic in Wisconsin, right by Erin Hills, we went and played 18 holes, and then we sat up top and had like a little dinner overlooking the sunset. We had cheese curds and a steak and mashed potatoes, rack of ribs. And it's just like that place is a really, really special spot in golf. They've really nailed it. The way that the sun sets on that golf course, the way that the weather just kind of like, it always just stays nice, even late at night. It's like fresh air. There's no light pollution around you. You're in the middle of nowhere. Really beautiful location for a golf course. And probably a unique one, like to build a course there in the middle of like those fields, and for it to be as popular as it is, like good on them. Because that, to me, like if you were telling me as an investor, like, hey, I'm going to go do this, like I don't know if that would work. There's no water, there's no big city right around there. It's like you're just going to go do this, and it just worked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to Aaron Hills because it's
hosting big time tournaments too. I know some people were down on it for the U.S. Open, but it's a great golf course, and the more eyes on it, the better, I think.
Yeah. So it's going to be on USA and Peacock. I saw Thursday, Friday, and then NBC on the weekend. So if you want to catch some, the biggest event again in women's golf, hopefully Nelly Korda's up there. We love Nelly Korda in the mix, but yeah, shout out to Aaron Hills taking on a major. I think this is their 5th different USGA event that they've hosted there. So they're building quite the deal. I know the ownership and all that there. I believe they really want to get another men's US Open at some point in the future too. So hopefully this week goes great. Hope they get some wind. I hope it tests them. That 9th hole is one of the more iconic, like really cool par 3s. Got bunkers all over the place. Only like 140 or 50 yard shot, but down the hill, you're up on this perch, hitting kind of down to this beautiful green that's got bunkering unlike you've ever seen. And then after that, you get one of those pretzel dogs. They got like the pretzel bun, and then the dogs there at that halfway house. You get yourself a fescue rescue. It's just an awesome scene. So Aaron Hill's great spot. I hope it really comes out and they have an awesome event. And then this week on the PGA Tour is the Memorial Tournament. This is probably, we kind of mention it every year, but Muirfield Village, Jack's place. It's one of the legacy events with Tiger's event, Jack's event, Arnie's event. Really difficult golf course. I was looking like, Scotty won last year at 8 under par. The year before, Victor Hovland won. He was 7 under par. So anytime the winner is like single digits under par, we know how good these guys are. That means that golf course is no joke. So Muirfield, the only player really skipping out of, I think, all eligible players inside the top 25 will be there this week except Rory McIlroy. Rory is not playing Muirfield. He's going to play instead next week at the RBC Canadian Open. He loves playing the National Opens, and so this will be the first time since 2017 that Rory is not playing in the Memorial, but big week, big tournament, big event. I always kind of looked at the Memorial, I feel like, as maybe outside of like the Players Championship is what just kind of feels like the biggest like regular stop on the PGA Tour. And again, Nicholas and Jack and Barbara are always out there, and the course is pretty damn iconic, hard. It's hosted the President's Cup. I can't remember if they've hosted a major before at Muirfield. I'm not sure, but they've hosted big events outside of just the PGA Tour. So yeah, big event this week at the Memorial.
They're always ripping up the greens after. What was that 2 years ago?
They're rolling up the fairways. Yeah.
As the leaders were coming down 18, they were rolling the fairway up behind them.
I actually think it might have been a playoff where they were like, they had anticipated the golf course coming or the tournament coming to an end. And they're like, all right, we got to go to a playoff. And they're like, we don't care. We're rolling these fairways now. Bring out the dozer.
Crazy. I actually just saw Jack did a video with Good that's coming out tomorrow, which is a very funny picture to me. It's like Jack Nicklaus in the middle of a bunch of good guys. There's like 20 of them around him. He's just like, he's lived long enough to see so many different variations of the game of golf. It's so funny to me.
True.
Started with like Arnold Palmer and like, all these guys, Gary Player on him. And then it's just like Scharf and Garrett Clark. And it's very funny. It's good for them. Like that's an amazing video. He's the GOAT in many people's minds. I mean, honestly, his career is the GOAT. It's hard to really argue. He's got the best career in golf history. His second place finishes are the most insane stats. Didn't he finish second in majors like
I want to say it was
18 times?
Yeah, I want to say it was 19, like 18 or 19 times. Yeah.
I think it was 19 times.
Like the guy could have rattled off 25, 30 majors. It's fucking psychotic.
Easily.
Riggs tried to pull one over on him when he interviewed him wearing black and red, and Jack showed up wearing black and red. All-time move by Jack Nicklaus.
Shocking move by Jack Nicklaus. What are the odds he shows up in a red shirt and black pants?
Insane.
What a move, dude. What a move. Last thing I got is we could do a little from the gallery. I know we got some voicemails that have stacked up. From the gallery is brought to you by Truly, the Truly Unruly. We got the Barstool Classics coming to Bogey Hills, my hometown, St. Charles, Missouri, on Wednesday. I think we got Za, we got Beef. I think Large is coming into town. And the 8% Truly Unrulies, they got the lemonades now. The lemonades are out. So great flavors. And again, that's, I believe, the thing, 8% ABV, 100% deliciousness. Everybody loves lemonade. We love lemonade on this very show. And Truly provides From the Gallery, which has been a mainstay. I think we've been doing From the Gallery since the day that we started this podcast. And Truly's been the supporter of the Barstool Classic since before we even hosted our first event when we just announced it. So check out trulyhardseltzer.com. You can also, check out any store near you. But the Truly Unruly lemonades are absolutely delicious. They got a bunch of great flavors, and they present from the gallery. So remember the number 646-685-4717, and you can leave a voicemail, and we'll play it on the show if it's entertaining, and we'll discuss it. So without further ado, we got some voicemails there, Jonesy.
This is Mike from Seattle. Kind of listening to a little bit late to the party here, a Kentucky Derby recap. And I got to thinking, what are some phrases from the game of golf that could be used as a great horse racing name? Some that I thought of sort of right off the bat were high draw or tie spinner. Just things like that, sort of unique phrases to our game. And, curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Peace.
Low nipper,
Ooh. That's a good one.
Dog leg right.
Or you want to do dog leg left because they're racing and going left.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought I had that right, but I had it wrong.
Good catch, Trent.
Dog leg left
would be tough.
Yeah, you're not going to do very well if you go dog leg right.
No.
You know what I was thinking of this? Well, you guys think the other day when we did the podcast about Frankie's baby, I had said that like we're pathetic and blah blah blah, and Frankie said that's a perfectly fine existence. I thought a perfectly fine existence would be a good band name. I've been thinking about that for 2 days.
Perfectly fine existence. PFE.
It's a good band name.
Yeah, do you like that as a good band name?
I really like
Coming
that.
to the stage, a perfectly fine existence.
Bang.
Dude, I think about the weirdest shit sometimes, and that was one of them where I was just like, that's a good band name. Perfectly
I
fine
dig that.
existence.
Perfectly fine existence.
Is that too long for a horse name, though? Like, how long can they be, or can they be long?
They could be like 2 or 3 words sometimes. 2 words. What about
Yeah.
God, I don't know. Stinger. Chunk and Run? That's a pretty
Chunk
good
and
one.
Run is good.
Oh yeah. That is nice.
Flopopotamus.
Dog leg left might be my favorite.
Yeah, I think that's the winner. Dog leg left. Yeah, thanks, Mike from Seattle. Appreciate that. Seattle getting a lot of play on The Last of Us right now, by the way.
It is.
Hey guys, it's Cooper from Raleigh. Just a quick question. I wanted to see what you guys thought. When do we start talking about Scotty Scheffler as not only being one of the best golfers of our time, but also being just a generational athlete that transcends sports? I'm talking like Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. How many majors does it take for him to enter that conversation? Just wanted to see what you guys think.
It's really hard for golfers to enter that conversation. For better or for worse, like, we've talked hockey on this podcast, we talk basketball, we talk football, we talk all of it. And I'm not discounting how much of an athlete golfers are, but there's something about those sports that just, it's easier to transcend because it's like, holy shit. Dunking and just I don't know, like it's really hard, and Tiger is kind of the only one who's ever broken into that stratosphere because it was so impressive. And it's really, really hard for a guy like Scotty, I think, to ever get in those conversations.
Well, the thing I would say is it's very hard and rare, but when they do, they almost go like higher than anybody else. And again, the stat that I always kind of pull up is like, I think 3 of the top 5 or 6 highest earning athletes in the history of planet Earth are golfers, like Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Arnold Palmer. So they've been able to but it's different. Golf's different in that it's not like whoever's the best player at that time is guaranteed to transcend sport and be one of the biggest stars in the world. Whereas like football, I feel like that is the case. Like at any given time in football, whoever the biggest, like best player is the biggest star in the country. Like when it was Brett Favre,
True.
It was like Brett Favre. And then when it was Tom Brady, it's like Tom Brady. And it's Patrick Mahomes. Whereas in golf from, I would say from like 1985 to like 1997, I don't think like the best golfer in the world, if it was Greg Norman or if it was Nick Faldo, was like this transcendent, gigantic star. It sort of like takes a pretty rare person in that era. And like Tiger was able to achieve it, Arnold Palmer was able to achieve it, but like, I don't know that really many. Phil is obviously a huge, huge name in sport, but like we're talking about 3, and I know I threw Jack Nicklaus in terms of money, but I don't know that Jack Nicklaus was like that, like they had Arnie's army, dude. They literally called his fans an army of people because he was beloved so much and everywhere. And he was the guys in all the commercials, handsome cat, everything. Whereas like we're talking about maybe 3 people over the last like 70 years in golf that have ever gotten there. So I don't know that Scotty can get there. Like I don't know that it's like possible.
Yeah, it's really difficult. It's especially in this day and age, you got to transcend way more than just your sport. You got to go into like the social media world and be able to take that over. And I don't know. It's just I feel like it was a little bit easier back in the day when you were the top of your sport and people were just reading the newspaper and seeing Sports Center and like you were the only story that was kind of going on. That's all people talked about. Now everyone talks about everyone. It's just so hard to transcend that world. Everyone knows Scotty. Like him getting arrested was like that was on his way to becoming one of the biggest names in sports because it was such a story. And it was like he was on top of the world. He was winning. Everyone thought he was just going to win every major that he played. He gets arrested in the middle of the night. We thought that he was going to be we thought that he murdered someone. It was just like that's what really got the mothers talking, you know, like the moms sitting around drinking coffee, talking about the pop culture stuff. They're talking Scotty Scheffler. I don't really know how else you can get in there as a golfer. It's really hard, man.
Yeah,
There's not that prime time, like every night, big matchups.
No.
It's like Scotty's in the news, like the news. He's in there like 4 times a year if he's lucky.
Yeah. It might just be a different time. You are right, because Frankie, you and I were talking when we filmed that thing a couple days ago where like SGA just won the MVP of the NBA, and you kind of have no idea who that is, which I think is standard. Like you got to be pretty into the NBA to like know all about SGA. And I think it might just be that people aren't talking about. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that people can talk about, and like there's not main focuses. Like I feel like back in the day there was only a couple sports that people would follow, and you had to follow them to kind of understand what was going on. And I don't know if that's necessarily the case anymore.
Yeah, I started the show saying I'm a bandwagon basketball fan, but I do know the sport enough. I know all the big guys, and for some reason SGA just like didn't come across my desk. It's one of those guys, like I saw him out there and I see how they're talking about him. I'm like, how do I not really know the best player in the league this year? And apparently he's been in the mix for years. Like they were calling him a veteran. I thought this now, even like yesterday, I thought like maybe he was like a rookie. I was like, this guy is like, he's like one of the old heads on the team.
I think he finished second in MVP last year. So, I mean, he's been around. He got traded, which was crazy. Like he was on the Clippers and the Clippers just traded him because they clearly didn't see that he was going to be a future MVP candidate. And yeah, I mean, he's an incredible player, but he's also another one of those guys who he's not going to grab headlines really. Like Scotty's like that too. Scotty's not a headline grabber unless something's coming to him, like unless the cops are arresting him or he's winning the Masters, or like he's not going out of his way, which is to your social media point where he'll post what he needs to post, but he's not on there like giving updates on his daily life. And I think SGA is somewhat similar to that.
He doesn't even run his own social media account, Scotty, and I know because I message him all the time.
Yeah.
So if it was him, he would answer me. I know it's just
right.
You know,
I think like the major championship part of it will help him. Like, cause Scotty, don't get me wrong, number 1 player in the world for the last several years, but like he won the Masters twice, but it still wasn't like breaking through. Whereas I think now if you start getting this like Grand Slam chatter going, you start talking like only, he could be the 7th player in the history of golf to do this. It could start to build a little bit, but I agree. I think he's always going to be kind of missing that other element of it, which is just his nature. It's who he is. I don't think he cares about that, of kind of transcending by how big of just a star you are. That's almost irrelevant to golf. It's just like that you're at like events, your demeanor, your swagger. Like Tiger Woods, known as like fist bumping all the time. He was boys and going out with like Jeter and Charles Barkley, and it's like now and instead it's
that's
like
what it is. That I was gonna say that too. Like it's the crew they rolled with. They were just a part of pop culture. They were part of like the universe of keeping up with the news, whether you were looking into baseball, basketball, or hip hop or whatever. Tiger Woods was hanging out with all these different types of people. He was there. He was the guy. Paparazzi was everywhere with him. He was with women, and it was just like it was different. It's like he transcended the sport. He was cool.
I also think there's something to only seeing these people every once in a while. Like social media, you see everybody all the time, where it was like when Tiger pops up at the Masters every year, like, holy shit, there's the guy that everybody's talking about. And maybe you get a picture of him in the paparazzi every once in a while. And it's like, whoa, you lose that mythical air of yourself when you're showing yourself every day on social media. Like, I think that is what's missing sometimes with the stars of today, where I can go on Instagram and I know what everybody's doing all the time. I know what Juan Soto's doing. I know what Aaron Judge is doing. I know what SGA, I think that is a big part of this generation where it's nice to have all this access, but you kind of lose the air of mystery. And that's a big part of being a star in my eyes.
Yeah, you almost had to, like, every time they did something, it would be news that you would have to like see in a newspaper or a magazine or something to be like, oh, that's what this person is up to. Like interesting. And then they, the editors and the writers and the reporters had to almost choose like who's important to put out there. Like they're like funneling it up to you of like, these are the important people. And then you were trained to be like, those are the important people that are megastars. And you're right. Now you kind of see a little bit of everybody all the time. You like see Steph Curry even like hugging his like wife and kids after the game and putting it on social. And you're just like, oh, that's what he's up to every minute of every day. And it isn't as mythical. It's just harder to break through because everybody's kind of a star. It's like it's easier for everybody to be relevant a lot in your life and harder for like you to only care about the biggest people. It's same with like entertainment in general. It's like harder for any show to break through. It's harder for any movie to break because we all have so many different ways to be entertained all the time.
Like there's an argument that the reason Leo is such a superstar is because I don't know a fucking thing about him. I see him every time I see him, he's on a yacht in Saint-Tropez with like a supermodel. And it's like, whoa. But he's not on Instagram. I don't even Chalamet last night, he's at the Knick game and he's putting up stories from the Knick game. And then after the Knick game, he's putting up a story. Like Leo is, what's he doing
on the yacht on a post of someone trying to get a picture of him with a crazy zoomed in lens, or you see him, headlining or a lead role of the biggest movie of the year. Like,
exactly.
Really, yeah.
He's a perfect example of a guy from that generation who has stayed that way. Never does interviews, only like does a little bit of press, but you don't really see him doing interviews. And like, so when you see him, you're like, oh fuck, there's Leo.
Dude, it is true with Tiger. That's like spot on about Tiger too. Like, yes, he would roll with those people, but not very often. And Tiger also didn't play that often. He played like 10 different events outside of the majors, it feels like. And he would like, you wouldn't hear about Tiger for 2 months, really. Maybe you'd do an Oprah appearance. You'd be like, oh, he's a big deal. He's on Oprah. And then maybe there'd be a story that comes out like Tiger's rolling with Michael Jordan and Jeter. And they're in this, like in the offseason. You're like, oh, that's interesting. And then next time you'd see him, he would show up. He'd be in the red shirt, fist pumping and winning. And you'd be like, oh, that's the guy. And then he's so private. He'd be like gone for another month. And you'd be like, and then he'd pop up again. He'd be like, God, this guy is so cool. Every time he pops up, he's just doing something sick. And that, you just almost lose that a little bit when it's so consistent.
Totally.
Yeah. It's
Tiger
an
Woods.
interesting thing.
Oh, yeah, there was shout out to Riggsy. He sent Frankie Boy his first putter, his first golf club came to the house yesterday. Now I will say there was some right-handed bias with that now. So I was maybe thinking of making this kid a lefty because I got all these lefty clubs. So you think I'm going to be buying this kid all these golf clubs? So you give him a righty putter. If this kid becomes a righty, it's on Uncle Riggsy now. Like that, I really thought about that.
Do you want him to be a righty or a lefty? Because it's harder to get clubs as a lefty in general going forward. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question. Like, what is the optimal hand? It's got to be right-handed, right? Just there's like so much more access, and our golf course is built for right-handed golfers.
Well, it's a right-handed world,
right?
If you want,
it kind of is.
I will say,
I don't think I have a choice. By the way, I think it's literally like they make the choice in the womb. I heard. Like,
I actually don't know. Yeah, I've never looked into that. Like, what makes a dominant hand? I have no clue.
I looked it up yesterday when he sent the putter. We were so happy we were holding it. I'm like, oh, is this kid gonna be a right-handed golfer? I'm like, now I'm thinking. It got me thinking all night. I'm like, is this kid gonna be right-handed? Like I lived my whole life. I'm a right-handed writer and I'm right-hand dominant, but I swung everything lefty. I don't know why I started to do that. And so I was like, oh, am I going to teach him like if I want to teach him how to hit a baseball, if I want to teach him how to hit a golf club, like it would be so much easier left-handed, right? Because like I know how to do that. And then it got me thinking like I don't think I have a choice. I think it's just you give him a putter, and you just see like what he likes.
Or you could enter your Earl Woods era and really take control of things.
No.
I would say too, statistically, if you want Frankie Boy to win the Masters, you might want to get him going left-handed pretty quickly.
That's true.
There's a huge advantage. So you might want to throw that putter away immediately if you wanted to win the Masters.
No, that got us emotional. I said, we're like, wow, this is real now. Like we got like a piece of equipment. It's like you want him to get big enough to like start putting with it, but you also don't because like you're holding him and he's just so like cute right in your arms. But you're like, man, I want to start golfing with you now.
I was like, I was dying
now.
I was dying at the picture of just how small he is compared to all the things around him. It's like it's very funny,
crazy dude,
tiny.
But then
tiny
he's
guy.
also like big. Like you look at him, he's 23 inches or 22 inches, And like Hannah's only 49 and she's like 5 feet tall. She's like, so she's only, what is she, 60 inches? So like that's like almost half her body. I'm like, that part I don't even understand.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Fuck.
I know.
But anyways, I actually got to get down there because I don't know what's going on. She's been kind of in the trenches with them, so I got to get
All right.
get back.
All right. We got a little barbecue we're doing this afternoon too. So we'll be back on Thursday for the second show of the week, Memorial Week, Women's U.S. Open Week. So there's always a lot going on in the golf world during the summertime. Thanks for listening. We'll be back Thursday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.